Alright. I think we are live. Let me get the stream up on my phone. And, whoa. I nearly interrupted my 2-hour video on Patrick Bateman, but we are live, ladies and gentlemen, talking about what happened against Juventus. What did happen against Juventus? We are going to be breaking it down. Hopefully, some of you guys will be joining the chat very, very soon to be able to let me know. And let's have a little chat about it, shall we? Because again, slightly better from Villa, I have to say, slightly better from Villa, but nonetheless, relatively toothless in attack, which is what I put in the title right about here. We just weren't really up for it, I don't think, this game. And it's really weird that we weren't up for it, considering it's a Champions League game against Juventus, but we just played like a team who couldn't be asked. Certain players, Morgan Rogers, for one, certainly playing like they couldn't be asked, which was really, really bizarre, because he's been one of our standout players this season. There's a lot to go through in this short time that we do have today. Hopefully all the audio and stuff like that is working just fine. Let me know if there's anything that's a little bit wacky here and there. Duncan, welcome, my man. Let me get the chat up here. You guys can see. Enter all your chats here. I am there as well. Duncan, welcome in to the chat. Story all season. Watkins is well off of it, and we rely on Duran's specials. Well, Duran's specials have got us, 8 points or so far this season? Let's think. He got a goal in our first game of the season, second game, third game, scored against Bologna, got the winning goal penalty against Wickham. Yeah, but he's dropped off as well, I think. He's looked pretty poor the last few games. I think I said in my Crystal Palace review he's looked very poor. He doesn't look like he's up for it at the moment, and that's a little bit worrying with his attitude. If he doesn't perform, I feel like the fans will turn on him quite quickly, which is a worry. Looked much better Kamara, though. I did actually put out a couple of tweets about that. The whole Kamara situation, and what possibly we might be able to do with him coming back into the team, and that is something that we are going to go through today in a while once we get a couple more people in, about how we fit Kamara and Onana when they come back into the team. But in terms of the actual Juventus game itself, like I say, I mean, I could have fallen asleep. I'm a little bit ill at the moment. I've just come down with something, but I could have fallen asleep about 7 times during that game probably. It was so boring. Like, neither team particularly looked like they actually wanted to win, to be honest with you. I think Juventus obviously showed a little bit of intent at certain points. They picked their moments. But Villa, we just don't look like we... I mean, to be fair, for the past 4 games or so, we don't look like we can actually be asked to attack. Like, we just get the ball, we knock it forward a little bit, and then we're just looking for the first backward pass to walk around. And it is, honestly, Villa Park at some points feels like a library at the moment, and that's because the play is just so dull and boring, and there's no intent, there's no ruthlessness to our play, there's no pace in the way that we attack, and that was blatantly obvious. We had a couple of chances this game, which is actually a bit of a departure from our last couple of games, where actually we haven't been creating many chances, but at the same time it's just not good enough in attack for me. Not good enough in attack. We have there's no I don't even know what the word is for it. We're not dynamic in attack, is what I'm effectively trying to say. Our attack is probably the least dynamic thing I've ever seen in my life. We're so predictable. We're so slow. Like I say, it's just not very good at the moment, and we have no pace in the team, and that's something that really, really worries me. I feel like we need to address that. What's his name? Cambiasso, is it? I don't even know. The guy that was on the right wing I think he might have even been playing right wing back, maybe. I don't even know who he is. He was up against Luca Digna. He might even be a winger. Small fella for Juventus. He was killing us that whole game just because he was quick. He was quick, and he just gets the ball and he ran at players, and we don't like it. And we have no one in our team at the moment bar a couple of flashes from Bailey who can do that. And that's a really big worry for me. Really big worry. Yildiz, I have seen that link. 19-year-old Turkish striker. I can't remember who he plays for. Is it Fenerbahce or is it Fenerbahce? I can't remember now. But yeah, I have seen that link. A good season last season, but he's got 1 goal in 11 games this season. So I don't really know if he's going to be our saviour. And again, do we need a striker? Or do we need pace down the wings? Because that's where we really do struggle down the wings. My lord, we are not good down the wing whatsoever. It's really, really terrible. Really, really terrible. But nonetheless, we did get a point. I feel like the goal was very, very soft. I think every Villa fan will probably echo that opinion from me. I don't really know what Diego Carlos is meant to do in that situation. Is he meant to just see that the goalkeeper's coming for the ball and think, you know what, actually, fair enough, I'll just start getting back then? I think he has every right to challenge for that ball. And the fact that it's given, I think it gets given in the Premier League. But you live and learn. A point gained, I think, against Juventus rather than 2 points dropped. Third clean sheet in a row at home in the Champions League, which is really odd considering we literally can't keep a clean sheet for anything in the Premier League at the moment. But again, a lot of cracks being shown in our team, and that lineup that you guys can see on the screen there. Again, not really probably our first choice lineup, to be fair. I think there's changes obviously when players come back from injury. But a couple of things that I do want to point out that worry me about this lineup, if I can just get them up here, is this right here. John McGinn playing like as a number 10 / striker. How on earth is he playing in that position at this level? Don't get me wrong, I like Super John McGinn. He does a job for the team, he works hard, he's a workhorse, he can progress you up the pitch, he can win fouls, but he's not a bloody striker at this level. He is not a Champions League striker, and that's why we're playing him, and it's forcing Rodgers out onto the left. He has been so much less effective out on the left-hand side than he has been through the middle. Really, really ineffective. Cloudy with a chance of UFOs, 7 games now, not good, man. Yeah, like I said in my video, the Crystal Palace review video, if you haven't checked it out, go back and check it out. It's on the channel now. I think it was 2 points from 15 in the league, knocked out of the EFL Cup. It might have been 2 points from 12 in the league, knocked out of the EFL Cup, and now 1 point out of a possible 6 in the Champions League. It's really not good. It's really not good, and I don't know how it gets better. Duncan, Chelsea will be tough. Dino got sacked after 5 losses on the bounce. I think Unai Emery has probably secured himself a bit longer than Dean Smith has in terms of a bad run of form. I think we'd have to be seriously struggling if we were considering sacking Unai Emery. I don't really know what's happened though, to be fair. Chelsea, in regards to Duncan's comment about Chelsea, I can't see a reality where we go to Stamford Bridge and win. A bit of hair in my mouth there, it's still there. I don't see a reality where we go to Chelsea and win. I just really don't. The way we're playing at the moment, and what's the one thing that Villa have struggled with under Unai Emery consistently since he's taken over, is teams with a high press. And Chelsea are aggressive, and I think they're just going to kill us with their press, to be honest. And I feel like we're not going to be able to get any patterns of play going. I don't know how we're going to get a goal against Chelsea. Not good at all. But anyway, moving back on, Rodgers on the left hand side of the pitch, not effective on the left hand side. Perhaps this is why we haven't been trying that Duran and Watkins combination, because we know that Rodgers is less effective on the left hand side. He's been way more effective in that number 10 role. But again, Unai Emery sticking to his guns. It's what's worked. It's got Villa into the Champions League, that rigid 4-4-2 formation. But that left hand side of Rodgers and Digne, really ineffective. Didn't get anything going effectively that whole game. Really didn't get anything going that whole game. The right hand side of Cash and Bailey, slightly better, not massively, but slightly. Bailey showed flashes. Heisenberg, Kamara has to start. Indeed, I do believe that you are correct. I think that Kamara really applied himself well, and Yuri Tielemans is just having a dip in form, which is probably to be expected, considering the amount of games he's played. I mean, Jesus Christ, that guy has played every minute, surely. He barely gets a rest. Kamara came in yesterday. I thought he'd done really, really well. It's just how do you get him and Onana, who inevitably will come back into the starting lineup, into the same team, because they're both more defensive minded, and do we lose a bit of that creativity? Nkunku and Palmer will press us to death. Yeah. I mean, again, we struggle, and that has been a thing since Unai Emery took over at Villa. We really, really struggle when teams press us high up the pitch and when teams have an aggressive press. Mainly because of the personnel. I just don't think, I mean, my God, we could have Diego Carlos against Chelsea's high press. We are screwed, to put it lightly. I think we need to pack that midfield a bit more, leave the striker up on his own, hope that the mids win the ball back, cover defence and create chances in a 4-5-1. Now here's what I'm thinking, guys, and this might be revolutionary or it might be stupid, but we need to change. United will finish higher than Villa. Maka, wow, I wouldn't have thought you would have said that. Probably. Or even a 3-4-2-1, ditch right back position by default. Villa downfall coming. Maka's going to be spamming comments about how Villa are due their downfall now, don't you worry. We need to not play so high, it's glaringly obvious. I mean, Jesus Christ, have we even caught anyone offside this season? Genuinely, our offside trap is terrible. But I'm thinking we could even try a 4-3-3. Look, McGinn as a number 10, Lord have mercy. But, yes, Rodgers is less effective as a left mid. Perhaps we played him as a right winger. We'll swap Bailey and Rodgers. Again, I don't know what other personnel we have, but I like Kamara in the team. I think he operates well as a pivot like that. We can keep Tielemans in there for that creative spark. And then you just swap McGinn and Onana. I mean, honestly, I can't stand Matty Cash. Honestly, I hate him, but we have no other right backs at the moment. Digne, again, just for the pace. Would we try something like that? Genuinely, you lot need to play McGinn on the reserves. Genuinely, I think you might be right, Maka, to be honest with you. Because he has been terrible. I think it's very, very showing when Emery has been subbing McGinn off after like the 50th, 60th minute in a lot of games. That's your captain, and he's being hooked after dropping generational stinkers. Any thoughts on Bundia to be given a go? I do have thoughts on Bundia to be given a go, Heisenberg, to be honest with you. So I went to the Palace loss. I mean, honestly, I'm a bad luck charm, by the way. Every time I go to Villa Park, we lose. But I was at the Crystal Palace loss in the Carabao Cup, and I was also at the draw against Palace, the 2-2 draw. Emi Bundia obviously started the game against Palace in the cup, and he came on against Palace in the league. He's just off of it. I don't think he's good enough for Villa anymore, to be honest. I wouldn't be opposed to us trying to move him on for his sake, because I don't think he's good enough at the moment, and for our sake, if we can offload him and bring someone else in. He loses the ball a lot, he gets yellow carded, he's a hothead. I think where we are now in our progression and in the way we play, he just doesn't fit for me, because the only role that he really comes into is that number 10 role. And would you have him in there over Rodgers? I mean, I'd have him in there over McGinn, don't get me wrong. But for me, Bundia's run his course. I just don't see how he fits into this team anymore. Duncan, I like Kamara in the holding role in front of the defenders. Absolutely, and this is what I'm saying here. With Kamara in this role, you give Onana and Tielemans a bit more freedom. You have the three up front. Maatsen inevitably is going to go and join the attack. Pau is more than capable of just coming out there. Konsa coming out there. I mean, Jesus Christ, this idiot can even join the attack. And it opens you up to something like that. Bailey, Rodgers inevitably is probably going to cut on the inside as well. I like Bailey out wide. Perhaps Maatsen can even push forward there. It opens up a lot of opportunities. And Kamara, again, with Onana and Tielemans push up the pitch, I like those three there. I like those three. Cloudy with a chance of UFOs. Yep, Dunk. I've been thinking for a little while now we need to go to a back three. And either the left or right mids or wing backs, depending on the difficulty of the game. Could work. We've done it against Bayern Munich, let's not forget. Jaden Philogene was effectively a glorified right wing back in that game. But again, the last time we actually played a three at the back was against Spurs last season, and they battered us 4-1. So it swings and roundabouts, but perhaps with the likes of Tyrone Mings, you might be able to get away with it. We can ditch the fullback roles with a back three. We have plenty of good midfielders. True. I play the formation in FIFA, in FC25. What about Duran and Watkins up front with Rodgers behind in almost a 10 role? The only way you can do that, and I do like it, the issue is that I have, and don't get me wrong, I love Duran. At the moment, he's not playing very well, but neither's Watkins or Rodgers, to be honest. We've got really unlucky. All of our forwards have just started dropping generational stinkers all in a row. Like, other teams get away with it. You know, Liverpool, if Salah has a couple of games a little bit off of it, they've got Gakpo, Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Diego Jota. They've got all these players that can fill in. And Liverpool's strikers are never all going to be off at the same time. If Haaland's off, City have people that can fill in. Arsenal even don't even have a striker, to be fair. I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you. But we've just seemed to have got unlucky that all of our strikers and wingers have decided to be terrible at the same time. I reckon 4 or 5 might need selling. Right, I'll get onto all of this. I will get onto all of your comments. 3 at the back, how it could work, how we can get Duran and Watkins into the team. Obviously, Powell and Konsa have to be in there. That's a given. The other centre-back position is up for debate. Who do you put in the middle? Do you go for Carlos or do you go for Mings, right? I don't know. I think at the moment we'd probably favour Carlos, even though I hate the guy. I just think he's not good enough. Mings hasn't played enough football, right? Now, to get the 10 and the 2 strikers, you're going to have to do something. Like, probably Philogene. I can't see Bailey doing that job of getting back, but Philogene would, and he can play in that wing-back position. Maatsen is more than capable of giving us a good option going forward as well as being a wing-back. So they almost play as a left mid, right mid, right? And then you have the 2 in midfield. Now, what this formation would allow us to do is do something like that. Because we're going to need that extra, cover in defence. Maybe even if you put Mings there, because he can float out and be a left back if we wanted to go into that formation. But then you have kind of like this type of thing going on. Those 2 kind of sit there. You have them there. Rodgers fits in just behind, and then you have Watkins and Duran up front. And you kind of play like a 3-5-2. Do you remember back in FIFA 12 when everyone played 3-5-2? That's the only way I can see us getting Watkins and Duran in the same team. Duran would probably play a more out-and-out striker role because, let's be honest, he doesn't track back as much as Watkins. And then Watkins would obviously be doing a little bit more of the dirty work. You could play Tielemans in that Rodgers hole as well, and you could have Rodgers up front and then Duran still on the bench. But it's risky. It's risky because you leave yourself open because all you have is one attack. Maatsen and Philogene get forward, Onana gets forward. But then again, with Kamara holding, and Kamara is much more disciplined at holding than any other player that we have, it could work. It could work because then, Powell just covers that. Konsa plays right back anyway, so he goes and covers that. And then if the team breaks, we might have that defensive unit as a 4. But that's the only way I could see it work at the moment. Again, it's a big risk because we've been playing 4-4-2 for how long now? So to change it at this point is a big risk. You have to drill the players in, but that could work. Right, back to the chat because I've been neglecting it ever so slightly. I reckon 4 or 5 might need selling. One big name to bring some dollar in: Carlos, McGinn, Oli Buendia, and Mings maybe. There's no way that Ollie Watkins is getting sold. I still do believe he's a 15 goal a season striker, and it's hard to buy someone that fits our system as well as Ollie Watkins. So I'd probably say he stays. Carlos definitely needs to go. If you guys have seen the video on my channel now, I've already covered that. It looks like that could be happening. McGinn, we're never going to sell our captain in January, unfortunately. Possibly a summer move, maybe, to get him somewhere that he's going to get. I could see him going to like a Celtic, do you know what I mean? Buendia definitely needs to go. Mings would need to bring someone else in because then that would leave us so short if Powell got injured. But I see what you mean. Carlos will go in January, yeah, I believe so. I don't want to be, but we might have to cash in on some of these. I don't think we need to cash in. Like, our net spend was like 20 million in summer, so we should have money. We should have money going. Maka, try having Zerk. Yeah. Hey, apparently we're interested in him in January, so we might take him off your hands. I can see a big clear out and quite a few new players coming in the summer. So could I. This summer was obviously about balancing the books. That was obvious to everyone, right? No one thinks that this summer wasn't about balancing the books because it bloody was. But I think the next summer, again, Emery will still be at the club. Again, unless we go on the biggest stinky run of 2025, he's still going to be at the club. Unless we get relegated, effectively. I think this summer will be the one where he gets to mould his own team. I think a lot of these players, still aren't really. I mean, you look at the players. He hasn't signed most of these players. He signed Rodgers, Philogene, Onana. Oh, bloody hell, I don't know what I've just kicked. But a lot of these players were here before him. Maatsen as well. But I could see a clear out and an Emery rebuild in the summer. And I do think we need to rebuild. A lot of these players, like I say, are still Dean Smith era, Gerrard era. Could be possible. Maatsen would be a good left wing back, absolutely. He has all the qualities to be a top class player. It's why he was in the Champions League team of the season last year. We've covered Tielemans playing in a number 10. The only thing is we need pace, and Tielemans, my God, it's like watching a player in slow motion. He is brilliant, don't get me wrong, but it is like watching a player in slow motion. With my Evo'd, I've Evo'd a couple of players, but this ain't FIFA. You are correct. I think Ollie will go to Arsenal at the end of the season. Something just isn't right. I don't know whether it's just because he's played so much football and he's so high energy, and that maybe the tournament in summer has taken it out of him. I think he's just recently had another kid. I mean, I've got a 7-month-old. Trust me, it drains you. I don't think Ollie's going to go anywhere. Xerxes was linked with us today or yesterday. He was linked with us. And I've done a lot of videos on Xerxes in the summer. I'm going to hold my hands up. Maybe I got sucked into the hype. I thought he looked absolutely brilliant in the videos that I watched of him. I still think he could be a top player. He's not what we need because we need bloody pace. We need bloody pace. I don't think it's Unai's fault, which is why I say getting rid of him. Yeah, I don't think it is his fault. We're playing the same football. The personnel were just letting him down. And I feel like the way that Unai Emery plays, you need a certain level of player, especially in defence. And other teams have definitely exploited the fact that we can't beat a high press. We cannot beat a high press, and teams know that now, and teams know that we're susceptible on the counter. Because of our slow build-up, our players creep forward, and we have the ball for long periods of time. And then when we lose it inevitably, because we're just terrible in the final third at the moment, we're very, very exposed. And I feel like we got away with it last year because our offside trap was brilliant and we were a lot quicker and zippier in attack with the likes of Diaby and Leon Bailey playing better. And I think now we've just lost that slightly, and that's worrying to me. That is worrying. We're very susceptible to a counter at the moment. I don't think there are too many international fixtures, absolutely, but then the rest of the Premier League's tired as well. But then again, I suppose you look at the rest of the Premier League, and despite the fact that we're all thinking that Villa have been terrible this season, I mean, not terrible this season in general, we're still doing very, very well, but terrible the last 7 games, somehow we're still only 7 points off of, sorry, not 7 points, 1 point or 2 points off of third place. Everyone is suffering. The international fixture congestion and this UEFA Nations League? What a farce. What a farce. What a money-snatching farce. The players are shattered. And they get 1 week off after the Euros, then they're back to the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and an international break every 3 match weeks. It is a joke. I hate international football. Remember when we said when we signed Jemba and we thought it was a decent sign, and then we saw him play? Luckily, we don't have anyone like that in our team at the moment, I don't think. We really missed the RB, that's the fact, and they pace. I have a video that I will be editing tomorrow that I'm hoping to upload tomorrow at about 4 PM, all around the Leon Bailey conundrum and why he has been so goddamn awful this season. And Bailey gets Duran, how did I get it wrong twice? Moussa Diaby gets a massive mention in that video because we are struggling without him. We really, really are. We get caught time and time again with the high line. I do think the fixture congestion needs sorting in England. Yeah, the players are absolutely shattered. The players are absolutely shattered, and it's showing now. I mean, Rodgers at one point, instead of taking his man on, just on a really lazy cross, it got blocked and went out for a throw, and he literally just waltzed off like he couldn't be arsed. He looks knackered. Watkins, I don't know how he's still not sharp yet, or whether he's knackered as well. Tielemans looks very, very sloppy on the ball. Something that we didn't see from him the first couple of fixtures in the Premier League. But let's not forget, if we sold Ollie/Duran, could we bring Ivan Toney? Oh, bloody hope not, because I don't like Ivan Toney, to be honest with you. And again, I don't think he's the type of player we need. Ollie Watkins is crucial to the way we play. As much as he's a bit of a donkey in front of goal sometimes, he is crucial to Unai Emery's system. So, I think we need to keep him around, to be honest with you. We look at the stats here. I just wanted to bring these up quickly. They'll be on the right-hand side of the screen. You look there. This is what worries me. I know that it's Juventus, and I know that they're a possession team. but losing the battle of possession at home. Thankfully, for once, we've had more shots on targets than a team that we played. But to lose possession at home in the way that we did yesterday really, really does worry me. It really worries me. We should be dominating possession at home. We are a Champions League team. We finished 4th. Our style of play revolves around possession, and yet we just can't. Really, really weird. Sign Osimhen. Would love to. He's quick. He's clinical in front of goal. I know that he's gone to Turkey. I don't know if that's a loan or not. But he's in Turkey at the moment. But I know that the reason he didn't sign for another high-profile club, it might have even been Chelsea, was because he was demanding something ridiculous, like 300 grand a week. And with FFP looming over us, I don't think we have the facilities for that. He scores goals, though. That's what matters. Good at pens, too. I don't know why Yuri Tielemans is on our pens. We really need to sort out our penalty taker, because I'd rather have Luca Digne, to be honest, taking them. Yeah. Before we wrap up though, guys, what were your thoughts on the actual Juventus game? I do love these live streams for the conversations that they generate, but what were your thoughts on the actual Juventus game? I'd really be interested to know, because I thought we played better, and we have started to play better now. But again, there's just something wrong. Osimhen wants a bigger club from what I've heard. He also wants way too much money than we can offer, to be honest. I would like to maybe go to Lyon and sign Ray and Chetri. Lyon obviously are going to get relegated. They're bankrupt. They're going to have to sell loads of their good players this summer. Chelsea, we're meant to get rid of Jackson and bring in Osimhen, but the deals break down. I'd love Jackson at Villa. I know we've been linked with him a lot. I think he played under Emery, if I'm right. Maybe he didn't. I can't remember. But I think Emery's worked with him in the past, and my lord, is he a player and a half? Is he a player and a half? But there's so many players out there that I would like to sign, but I don't think we are ever going to. That Gittins from Dortmund on the wing, would really, really like him to come in. We need pace. That's the one thing we need, guys. We need pace. We're so slow, methodical, predictable, and we don't have a player at the moment that can beat someone on a half turn, and that's what really worries me. Watkins has a bit of pace, but his first touch is so bad, it's like null and void. Do you know what I mean? Gittins is quality. Ex-Bills, my one and only mod. Get out and do a run, Billy. You haven't done any runs this week. Come on, guys. We're meant to be training for a marathon here. I'm going to be running and I'm ill today. Juventus trash. I tell you what, they weren't actually that good, to be fair. They had a couple of great players. That winger was brilliant. And I tell you who else was good. That Thuram, the midfielder. Lord have mercy. He was like Yaya Toure in there. No one could get the ball off of him. Brilliant player. The ref was also trash, though, Billy. Come on. Billy's a Liverpool fan, for those wondering, as you can tell by the Steven Gerrard emblem. And my God, Liverpool are the real deal. By the way, they look brilliant. I watched the highlights of that Real Madrid game. Fantastic. Arne Slot has got them absolutely ticking over. Any other thoughts on the Juventus game, guys? Pop them in. Always happy to field your thoughts and opinions before we head off. Let me have a little look here. Paul will win the league, absolutely. Absolutely, no one's close. No one is close, I have to say. Let me fiddle around with something else whilst I'm here. In terms of players that we could sign, what we need: a winger, a right back, and probably another right-footed centre-back, I think. That would be my goal. A left winger, specifically, I think. We're solid defensively in the Champions League. Shame we can't do that in the Prem, but it's because we're so boring in the Champions League. We are so boring. We were great against young boys. Bayern Munich, we had to do that. I get it. They're one of the best attacking teams in Europe. So we had to sit back and sort of park the bus, for want of a better word. But then against Club Brugge, even at 1-0 down, we were just passing the ball around the back. Against Juventus, there were gaps in that Juventus team. We were boring. We didn't go for it. We seemed so worried about conceding that we're just boring, man. And look where it's getting us. We're winless in 7. Loan Dougie back. I mean, no one's going to say no if it financially makes sense to have Douglas Luiz back from January till the end of the season. But I do think we need to prioritise other positions. I don't think that Luiz solves our problems. Let's put it that way. I think a draw was a fair result, bar the stupid officiating. It would have been more of a robbery if we would have won it, to be fair. Yeah, I'm still annoyed about that referee call, but you know, but we did get done dirty. Yeah, we did. That was awful. That's never a foul for me. If Juventus scored that goal, and I promise you, and if this ever happens, clip this and run it back. If Juventus scored that goal and it got chalked off, I would be sitting here right now saying, Jesus Christ, how lucky are we, because that was never a foul. I think if any other fans look at it objectively, it's not a foul. It's not a foul. But the refereeing in Europe is terrible. Now we come up against Chelsea. I mean, probably get battered against them as well, to be honest with you. Winless in 8, then do we start to worry? Then we have Brentford and Southampton. We need to get 6 points from that. There's no if and buts or maybes, because they are vital games. But, you know, I think this Juventus game just highlighted for me that we're just really off of it offensively. And I think we have been off of it offensively for a long, long time now. A long, long time. But, look, guys, thank you very much for coming in. I've got to head off to the gym and do a run, because then I'm on nights now, which is not fun. Again, it's been brilliant. I love these live streams. I love having you guys in the comments. So as always, before we end this live stream, I'll give you guys 10, 15 more seconds, maybe a little bit longer, because I know you have to type them out. If there's anything else that you want me to talk about or answer quickly in the chat, please do pop them in now before we go. There will be a video hopefully coming out tomorrow about Leon Bailey, and then hopefully on Saturday I'll be able to jump on a live stream at some point in the afternoon about the Chelsea game. And then there's plenty more videos. I've got a few videos pre-recorded that I'll be able to pump out to you guys. But thank you all very much for coming in. Again, the Juventus game, all in all, not great. Not bad. We kept a clean sheet against Juventus. We looked the more likely to score, apart from that one brilliant Emi Martinez save. How have I not mentioned that, by the way? What a goalkeeper. But the cracks are showing for Villa. We need pace in January. We need a new right back for me. We need to sort out a little bit more pace up front, specifically on the left wing for me. But apart from all those points, if there's nothing else, dudes and dudettes and dude-thems, everything in between, give you guys another 10 seconds, 10-second countdown, because I can see it on the screen, because I'm a little bit behind when I'm watching my own streams. 10 seconds from there. I'm going to take a swig of water because my throat feels like I've been swallowing sandpaper today. Anything else about Juventus or Villa's current form? If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Leon Bailey video. That's a good one. Be sure to set your alarms, 4 PM. Oh, I think we're all done. Are we all done? Oh, I've just seen myself do that to the camera, so I think we are. Lovely. Guys, like I said, thank you very much. More live streams will be on this channel. More Aston Villa content coming very, very soon. So be sure to like, subscribe down below so you don't miss a thing. If you turn notifications on, you will know when I'm going live and when I upload a new video. So if you do want to get in and make sure that you don't miss out on the live chats, be sure to do that because it helps you guys out. I mean, I'm not too stat focused. So I'm not monetizing this or anything. But if you guys do want to make sure that you're in the live chats, if you do that, I'm pretty sure it will notify you, so you should know. Cloudy with a chance of UFOs, Duncan Kilburn, you guys are the real MVPs. Tea time, indeed. It's gym time and run time for me. But for now, up the Villa, of course. We'll be back. I'll be watching the Chelsea game. I'll be very tired because I'm working nights over the weekend. But I'll be there. Believe me, I will be there. Up the Villa, everyone.